I do want to touch on what you've got. My team, we'll call him that. I'm linked to the Dallas Cowboys forever. And Jackson Powers Johnson, the center out of Oregon, he seems like the draft nerd's darling. I mean, I'm a big fan. He popped up on my radar at the Senior Bowl. There's a lot to like, but it does seem like it prompts an interesting conversation about just how much the NFL values the center position. Even Tyler Linderbaum a few years ago, who everybody said is like the cleanest, easiest center prospect ever, and he is playing like it in the league. He fell all the way to 25. You often see centers fall out of the first round entirely. Do you think the NFL likes Jackson Powers Johnson as much as those of us on the outside seem to?
I very much believe so. Again, as I mentioned, I went to the University of Washington Pro Day, standing alongside of numerous general managers, coaches, scouts. Same thing at the University of Oregon Pro Day. I watched, I believe it was 3 or 4 different offensive line coaches. I know the Chicago Bears definitely were among them. That was putting Jackson Powers Johnson, the rest of the Oregon Ducks offensive linemen through drills, and you could just hear the power in Jackson Powers Johnson's hands. And when you see this young man in person, you see just how broad that he is. I think that's where you start to imagine just how successful that he can be in the NFL. And you make an excellent point. I love the fact that you mentioned Tyler Linderbaum because he was the cleanest center prospect that I had ever evaluated. And of course, came from Iowa, and we all know what an incredible job that Kirk Ferentz does with the Iowa Hawkeyes when it comes to translating high school players into future early NFL starters along the offensive line. Jackson Powers Johnson, I was skeptical. I mean, he did not start 2 years ago for an Oregon offensive line. That was a very good one. A bunch of those guys wound up going into the NFL. But he basically was a first year starter this past season, then jumps to the NFL. So I was very skeptical. All right, how good is this guy? Is he just a function of Oregon's offense? And then I start watching him on tape. And as you mentioned, the Senior Bowl, he was absolutely spectacular. And then again, the power, the quickness that he has at 6'3", 330 pounds. This is not Tyler Linderbaum at 290 pounds. This is a big man with incredible quickness, incredible power. Frankly, I struggled with JPJ falling all the way to number 25, the Dallas Cowboys. If he is in fact available, then David, your club, I think, would be dancing in the streets if they were able to land him at that spot, considering the fact that Dallas has a bunch of problems along the offensive line at this point, or at least a bunch of holes, including everybody's focusing at left tackle. I think they're just going to move the left guard over there. I really think that the center position, where right now you got Brock Hoffman, a former practice squatter, is the only center on the roster at this point. I feel very, very confident the Dallas Cowboys are going to make center a high priority. If not the first round, I think second round selection will probably be where Jerry Jones and the Cowboys decide to go to fix their center absence.
I mean, typically teams will often make signings to disguise their holes so that you don't 100% know what they're going to do. The Cowboys haven't bothered this year, so anything is possible, but it's all too easy to look at the Cowboys and say, yeah, whatever offensive lineman they feel the best about, it makes too much sense. Whether one of the good tackles is there for them, or yeah, maybe you just draft the best center. And I mean, I've always said I don't get the hate on the position like, oh, is it valuable enough? Because I know what great center play looks like because I covered Travis Frederick for several years, and it makes all the difference in the world. Again, I think that's a situation where maybe don't overthink it. I don't care about positional value if you can get a Pro Bowl caliber center in the 20s of the first round. Absolutely.
Well, and again, if you go back to the division, Dexter Lawrence, I just mentioned the New York Giants. Obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles are as loaded at the defensive tackle position as any club in all of the NFL. And, a big part of that is Jalen Carter, of course, is returning for his second season in the NFL. And then Washington, while I argued before that that's a club that is in a real roster rebuild, not along the defensive line. So if you want to keep Dak Prescott upright, and that's of course the best opportunity the Dallas Cowboys have to get back to a deep playoff run, perhaps even a Super Bowl run again, then I think that it is critical that whatever avenue you go down to get yourself a high quality center, then the Dallas Cowboys, I believe, are going to be doing that. And to me, there is no question about the number one center in this draft class is Oregon's Jackson Powers Johnson.